Most High in Christ. Bear with me 1 second, Israel. Cut it on. Bubba Quashaw. But why? All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Brakathum. Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashim Yahushua. I am priest and officer of 5,000 Yediah. I'm holding it down till 12 Shield General Mahayaman gets here. 12 Shield General Mahayaman will be in the building. If you got any questions, you know what I mean, type them in the chat. Type your questions up. General Mahayaman will be here shortly. Shalom, TikTok. The general will be here in a minute. Now, understand something, right? As Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, we got a lot going on right now. But more importantly, we have to understand, right, that now is the time for us to come out of America. Now is the time, as the Lord has chosen people, to get it right and realize this is not our rest. America is not our rest. And why our God told us that we had to be separate. And understand something. Our God telling us that we had to be separate is important because the Most High does not love everybody. He only loves the children of Israel, man. That is who the Lord loves. And let me tell you who the children of Israel are. The children of Israel, the real children of Israel, is that black man and woman in America and the West Indian Islands and Haiti and Guyana, that Latino man and woman in South America and Central America and Puerto Rico and Cuba and the San Domingo, man. You know what I mean? Out there in the Dominican Republic, that Native American Indian man and woman, that Seminole Indian man and woman. That is who God loves. And separation is key. And I'm going to show it to you. Give me Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. Get it from me, Bubba Kashaw. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26.
Go ahead.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
Now listen, our God told us that we should be holy, meaning we should be separate. We have to understand that we are a separate people. And our God said, ye should be holy unto me, meaning we should be separate. And when you look the word holy up, all it means is to be set apart. All it means is to be separate, man. He said, ye shall be holy unto me. Pick it up, Karam Ya'ala, Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. That's what we got to realize, man. The Most High does not love everybody. He only loves the children of Israel. He's saying it right here in the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. Go ahead. You got it?
Leviticus chapter 20 verse 26.
Go ahead.
And ye shall be holy unto me. For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. Meaning the Most High God is separate. The Most High is separate. Understand that. He's saying, for I, the Lord, am holy. Meaning God don't love everybody. God does not want, you know what I mean, everybody to be together, all kumbaya. No, he said, for I, the Lord, am holy. Read.
And have severed you from other people.
And the Lord severed us from other people, man. He took us, right? And he severed us from the oppressor, severed us from these heathen nations, man. Let me explain something, right? Integration was one of the worst things to ever happen to our people. One of the worst things that ever happened. Because this is what happened, right? Now we coming together with the heathens. Now we in America. Now we think, and let me explain something to you, right? On how evil the oppressor is and how they have dealt, you know what I mean, with the children of Israel so harshly, TikTok, so harshly for far too long. First of all, they celebrate the mass unaliving of our Native American Indian brothers and sisters and Seminole Indian brothers and sisters. They celebrate it. It's called Thanksgiving, where you celebrating the mass unaliving of our people, man, God's chosen people. But then you tell us to forget about it. You push critical race theories out of the curriculum. You don't want, you know what I mean, our babies to know how evil and monstrous you have been. This is why our God told us that we should be holy unto him, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people. Realizing this, man, that severed us from other people. If my arm gets severed from my body, it's no longer attached. Meaning we ain't attached to these heathens, man. It's an evil thing to celebrate Thanksgiving. A lot of y'all getting ready to celebrate Christmas. A lot of y'all are gearing up to celebrate Christmas, man. And a lot of you don't even understand, TikTok, what the real celebration of Christmas actually is. It comes from, the Romans called it Saturnalia. where the Romans would get together, Karam Allah, and have an alternative lifestyle festival where grown men would get together and abuse each other physically. You know what I'm saying? In TikTok, abuse each other physically, and then give gifts afterwards. That's what you celebrating? Take it back even further. Christmas is really a pagan holiday that was of the worship of Nimrod, man. Of Nimrod, a heathen king. That's what you want to celebrate? Not realizing, and that's in the Bible too, where the Bible tells you not to celebrate Christmas, man. Let me Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Our God told us this, that you should be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, severed us from the Arabs, severed us from the oppressor, severed us from the Africans. And let me tell you something, why it's important to realize that we should be severed from these people, that we don't need to be bothered. It's a lot going on right now. I know everybody knows about the situation that happened with, what's the brother's name? You know what I mean? You got like what happened with Kyrie Irving, that what happened with, Kanye West and other ball players. Now, Kyrie Irving was a brother that retweeted a documentary on Twitter, Makaram Allah, just retweeted a documentary, you know what I mean, from Hebrews to Negroes. Could you believe that they sent Kyrie Irving home? They didn't pay him. They suspended him, made him go to sensitivity training, but and they covered this on ESPN. They covered it night and day. You had Uncle Tom's like, you know what I mean? Uncle Tom's like, you know what I mean, Stephen A. Smith and unfavorable women like Malika Andrews. They came out and spoke harshly against Kyrie Irving. And do you have could you believe that there is a devil by the name of Josh Giddey, plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder, 21, 22 years old. He got caught dealing with a minor, TikTok, dealing with a 15-year-old girl. Could you believe that they tell me, oh, we don't have all the facts? We can't really talk about it. Yeah. The NBA is investigating. Like, you had all the facts when it came to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was right in what he said. He was right for retweeting what he retweeted, because we are the real Jews. But you crucified Kyrie. But you don't want to say a word about a devil, you know what I mean, what Josh Giddey's doing with that underage girl. He was, listen, TikTok, he was averaging 15 points. He was averaging 15 on and off the court. Salakia, my thumb, y'all. But then you crucify him. Let me say something. If I was John Morant, I'd be upset. John Morant is at home right now suspended. You know what I mean? Suspended for owning a legal firearm. He didn't commit not one crime. But what Giddey did was a crime. We ain't the same. That's why our God wants us to be severed from other people. Playing sports ain't unlawful. But why can't we have our own leagues? Why can't we have our own sports league with our own media? Why do we got to rely and join and join ourselves to the oppressor? We don't got to do that. We don't got to do that. And I'm going to tell you where it starts. It starts with us separating our mind from this place. Once you take your mind off of Christmas, once you take your mind off of New Year's and Thanksgiving, of all of these different holidays, and take your mind off of the oppressor here in America and come back to what this Bible says, to come back into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, guess what? You understand the greatest thing that we understand in this truth, that we have a God who is a black man in spirit, whose name is Yahweh. We have a king who the world ignorantly calls as Jesus Christ, whose name is Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who gave up his life so we could have another chance at life and getting back to our God. It starts with us coming back in here and doing it the right way, keeping these commandments, man, not celebrating these false holidays. We got to stop getting caught up in that, because you see, Karam, the rules is different for us. Kyrie didn't break no laws. He didn't commit no crimes. You know what I mean? What's the brother's name? You got countless brothers that get caught up. You know what I mean? Malika Andrews demonized the brother by the name of Brandon Miller. When Brandon Miller got drafted to the Charlotte Hornets, man, she demonized that brother for something he didn't even do. But y'all will not speak up against that devil. That's why our God said that we should be separate. That he severed us from other people, that ye should be mine, because we belong to the Most High. We don't belong to the oppressor. The problem is, give me Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Problem is, we want to join the oppressor. Problem is, we want to be part of the oppressor's game. Not an East Indian that you're looking at right here, TikTok. This is a Mitri. This is holy apparel right here. Israelite culture. If you ever look at, you know what I mean, them Arabs and them East Indians, you can see my braids and my hair is uncovered, right? My hair's not covered. This right here is royal apparel. It's called a mitri. You can find this in the Bible. Ezekiel wore, Isaiah wore, the priests of God wore. What the Arabs and the East Indians do, they try to copy this, and they cannot. They can't copy this. This right here is nigger culture. Salaki. No, you all right for asking. Ain't nothing wrong with asking. You know what I mean? Typing your questions in. Type your questions in, TikTok. Make sure you type your questions in. General MAHAYAMAN will be here shortly, and he'll be glad, TikTok, to answer every last one of your questions. Now, let me get Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. I give me Jeremiah the 10th chapter and the first verse. We know we're Israelites, first of all. We know we're the children of Israel. The Bible says it. History says it. Archaeology says it. The people that call themselves Jewish, they're not the real Jews. You're looking at a real Jew. Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are the real Jews. Go ahead, Usher.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor. The Lord said, envy thou not the oppressor. Don't envy the oppressor and what he has. Don't look at him and say, oh man, I got to live that lifestyle. Too many of our brothers and sisters do that. And what I'm so glad, Karam Ya'Allah, we have the Feast of Hanukkah coming up, man. This Thursday, man, we got the Feast of Hanukkah coming up. You know what I mean? It's about a righteous brother, that mean Matthias and his sons that stood up against the oppressor. The problem is a lot of our people fold, man. You sell out. You sell out because you envy the oppressor. Matthias didn't envy the oppressor. His sons didn't. They fought against this place, man. Fought against the Greeks and the Romans and their philosophy. They could have easily sold out. Your Stephen A. Smiths of the world, they sell out. Your Shaquille O'Neals of the world, we ain't forget. We ain't forget. Papa John was calling us the N-word, TikTok. And they said, oh, man, got rid of him and said, who can we get to save face? Who can we get? Oh, let's go get that 7-foot brother that smiled all the time. The went and got checked, and he started cooning for the oppressor. A lot of you will sell out. Didn't Steve Harvey say something like, for enough money, he'll put on a monkey suit and act like a monkey? Didn't he say that, Karam? Your leaders will sell out. And that's the problem with our people. We look to entertainers and we look to media personalities and ball players to be the leaders amongst our people. That's not their jobs. That is not their jobs. LeBron's job is to play basketball. It's nice, you know what I mean? He does a few things here and there. He ain't in the truth, he in the world. But here's the thing, you can't expect him to lead our people. Same thing, a lot of you think, oh my God, if I could just get that interview, if I could just sit down with Jay-Z. It's too many, it's too many niggas that are talking about turning down $500,000 to go sit with Jay-Z. You know what $500,000 could do for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians? You know how many of our people we can feed? We're getting ready to go out there and help, you know what I mean, and help I.S.U.P.K and Zebulon, you know what I mean, and Asher this Saturday, man. You know what those Most High Christ, Barakatah was shot. You know what those funds can be used for in helping our people? But you'll turn that down to go sit with a nigga that's going to tell you, yo, kid, you should have just took the money, B. That's what he's going to tell you. But you think he's just going to give you the business plan. You think, oh my God, he's going to help me out. If you think sitting down with Jay is going to help you, you are destroyed. You're destroyed. Jay-Z's job is to rap. Your basketball and football players' jobs are to play ball. Your singer's job is to sing. It's the priests and prophets of the Israelite school of UPK to be the leaders under Christ. I pray you understand that. That's what we have to understand. Read on. Envy thou not the oppressor.
And choose none of his ways.
And choose none of his ways. Are you for Palestine or Israel? I'll answer. Somebody on TikTok asked, are we for Palestine or for Israel? We are for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the true children of Israel. That is who we are for. We are not for neither side that is over there beefing. That's between y'all. Y'all got to thug that out. But call y'all. You got to thug that out over there. And here's the thing, too. The sad thing is, and this is the tactic that they use, and this is why our God had the wherewithal to tell us, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. We can't choose the way of the oppressor. First of all, the oppressor is the slave master, and our people are the slave. Like we cannot choose the way of the oppressor or any of these heathens, man. We can't live that lifestyle. You're not free, white, and 21 from y'all. You're not. That's what that means. You ain't free, white, and 21. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. The oppressor wants to live an alternative lifestyle. Now you want to try to live an alternative lifestyle. And you know what happens when you try to live an alternative lifestyle? You get those diseases that come upon you. You know what happens when you try to live the lifestyle of a mafioso like Gotti, you know what I mean, and Al Capone? Now you sitting up there at a 3x8 with your head down, crying, breaking down in that cell because it's not for our people. It's not for our people. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. You can't choose being a gangbanger. You can't choose being an unaliver, being a deviant. You can't do that. You got to choose the righteous path, Black, Latino, First Nation, man and woman. That's what we were built for. That's what we were designed for. That's why we make the worst criminals. That's why we make the worst anything, any type of degenerate. We do. We make the worst ones. We get hit the hardest because it's not in our nature. It's not our way of life. And that's why we get punished for it. We're not supposed to be living like that. Our God said, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. None of his ways. Don't choose it. Don't do it. It's a better way. And let me tell you something, right? I'm going to show you a big one. Give me what you got, Ibad and Jeremiah. Jeremiah 10 and 1, Bubba. Sure.
This is book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Our God said, and that's a good question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that. The Lord said, envy thou not. Wait, read that again. Learn not the way, learn not the way of the heathen. Right? Read that again from the top.
This book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Learn not the way of the heathen. Our God told us to learn not the way of the heathen. It's not a matter if I respect Islam or Muslims, because I'm not sure if you know, Nina, but a Palestinian Muslim in Indianapolis, you know what I mean, Indiana, rammed her car in a terrorist attack against my school. She did this. We had a terrorist attack against us, against the Israelite school of UPK, by a Palestinian Muslim woman, where we had men, women, and babies that could have been unalive because of her terroristic attack. It's not about us respecting you. Your people don't respect us. And here's the thing I'm going to expound on, which says, learn not the way of the heathen. If you're an Arab man or woman, or if you're any type of heathen, being a Muslim is right for you. But if you're Black, Latino, or Native American Indian, if you're an Israelite, that's the way of the heathen. It's good for you, wrong for me. Because I'm going to tell you what's right for me. This Bible was right for me. This Bible, this Apocrypha, this is right for Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. This is right for our people. And our God said, learn not the way of the heathen. And it ain't just Islam. Being a Hindu, being a Christian, that ain't for us. We have our way of life. Could you imagine, Karam Allah? You know what I mean? If a people went and forced their ideology, if a people went and stripped another people of their identity and forced their ideology on them, oh, you call the people that forced their ideology on them wicked, right? You would call them monsters. That happened to our people. Where Islam was spread with the what? The sword. It wasn't a choice. And let me tell you something. The righteous Israelites, the righteous Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you're right. You're right, tactical, you're right, by the sword. The righteous Blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians chose the sword. We chose the sword, man, because we understood our God's name is Yahweh. Listen, the scripture says in Deuteronomy 6 and 4, Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allahayanawa Yahweh Akkad, meaning our God is one God, and he's only the God of the children of Israel. And our God told us, learn not the way of the heathen, meaning this. If you're a heathen, we ain't supposed to do your ways. That ain't for me. I'll give you a prime example of that, right? In East Indian culture, they believe that cows are sacred. They don't eat cows.
But me? Karam Yah. I buy. Brother. Go ahead, Karam.
They say the cow is their mother.
Is there what?
It's their mother.
Is their mother? God damn, the cow is their mother? Damn. That's some crazy shit to cry out. They think the cow is their mother. I know my mother. Listen, my mother is an Israelite. You know what I mean? My mother is a older Benjamite woman. You know what I mean? She at home, got Benny Hinn on right now. Salaki. Salaki. She watching Benny Hinn smack the hell out of people with that white coat. I'm telling you, with one hand, I'm telling you, both hands towards the TV while Benny Hinn doing this. My mother's not supposed to do that because my mother is an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. She's supposed to be doing that. So when the Lord said, learn not the way of the heathen, we ain't supposed to do none of the ways of the heathen. I give you another one. Moab. Moab is the so-called Chinese. Moab will eat anything that they can catch. I didn't know what a pangolin was until COVID-19. They out there eating pangolin TikTok. Now, we don't do that. We don't do that. There's certain things we don't do. Listen, man, in our customs, in our culture, we don't eat shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster. We have laws that our God gave us in Leviticus, not in the 11th chapter, right, I We got lawful animals that we eat. Let me tell you something. That cow is lawful. That cow is lawful, and he is good. I'm trying to tell you. Them oxtails, my thumb yard, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Salakia. Just saying. Our God told us, man, learn not the way of the heathen. And knowing to learn not the way, I'm too awkward. Learning not the way of the heathen, right? Meaning don't do the things that they do. Meaning don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate Christmas. Don't celebrate New Year's. First of all, the new year doesn't begin in January anyway. That's another worship of another god. Janus, you know what I mean, which January is named after, is a Roman god of new beginnings. When that is not the new year. The new year is Passover, around the time of spring. That's the so-called new year. So when our God said, learn not the way of the heathen. Keep reading that, Bob.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Meaning don't be confused at the signs of heaven. That's what a lot of y'all do. I'm going to answer that too. We also read in the Quran that the children of Israel are favored above all. That's in 2nd Surah 1 and 22. Well, we read your book too. We read that too, and I can pull it for you. It's in 2nd Surah 1 and 22, where it says, O children of Israel, who I bestowed my favor upon you. So even in your very book, it tells you that blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the children of Israel, are favored. They're the ones that the Lord chose. And they got that because that's in Leviticus 20 and 26. It's in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. And 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 17, I thought. Or 2 and 9, one of them. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what the Bible is saying. The Bible says that. I pray you understand. And it says to be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. A lot of y'all, man, you get caught up in that astrology. And it shouldn't be confused with astronomy. You know what I mean? With the navigation of the stars. Not that. A lot of y'all are moon worshipers too. You worship in the sun, moon, and the stars. A lot of you get caught up in them zodiacs, man, and them horoscopes. And y'all be losing y'all damn minds. Y'all know who y'all are. TikTok, I told a sister one time, my sister told me, was trying to tell me, for Karyala, that she was an Aries rising and a Leo descendant or some nonsense. And I was like, yeah, that's heavy. I said, you know what? My horoscope said I was going to breathe today. And I was going to put on white socks. The socks I had on was black. And her jaw dropped. Don't make no type of sense out of it. Oh, what? But yeah. Rock. How about Shimmy out shop rock?
I'll keep clapping up. Get it on.
That being said, TikTok, I'm gonna pass the class to priest and 12 shield general Mahayaman.
I appreciate you.
You got
Warrior.
2 questions, sir, on TikTok.
I'll take those questions. You want me to switch over to this TikTok or just deal with yours?
You can rock out with this one right now, sir.
Okay. Now it's hard for me to see this.
Oh, I got the questions.
Okay. Let me say the name. Victoria is up in there. Who else? Estella. Well, I gotta switch this out. My apologies. I can't see a damn thing. Clap it up again one more time. Let's get it on. All right. I'll answer your questions, solve all your problems, help you raise those badass kids you got. All right. We'll get into it tonight, give you the scripture breakdowns that you need to go out on the street and fight for the dominance of the Israelite school of UPK under commanding General Yahanna, for the absolute supremacy over the minds of blacks and Latinos on this planet. All right? Who do I need to get the let me go on top of this just because. Let me hand you a phone. Go ahead, Roy.
Okay. Nina asked, do you believe in interracial marriage?
Well, no, absolutely not, Nina. I do not believe in interracial marriage because interracial marriage is a sin against God. I don't believe in eating pork and eating shrimp. I don't believe in alternative lifestyles. I believe in the loss of personal freedom for the gain of my nation. See, that's what laws are. Let me show you a video real fast. You got that last video I sent you about that marriage couple? What's the sister's name again? Nina, let me show you something, Nina, real fast, all right? Many people do not like God's interference in their personal life. It feels intrusive. It feels like bondage. I appreciate you, Warrior. But what you don't understand is that that feeling of that loss of freedom with what you eat, with who you have sex with, that loss of freedom is acceptable because of the gain to your family, which is what we teach in the Israelite School of UPK. It's at the core of who we are. Family. Family. What is your race? What is your ethnicity? What is your nation? That's your extended family, all the way down to your very personal family. Well, in life, young man, in life, young sister, you have to lose personal freedom so that your nation can gain. Everyone understands. Let me show you a perfect example. The officer will pull it up right now. But she's not, damn, this sister's not on, right? Or else I got to pick this thing up here like this. Nina, I can't see a damn thing. Hold on. Even with the glasses. What's her name? I can't. Estella. Nina, where you at? Dion, I see you out there. Get it on. Hold up. They had no freedoms. They hold up. They've had no freedoms. I don't understand what he's talking about. Right? Okay, he don't believe it. He wants his freedom. I understand that. Who doesn't? Everybody would like to be free. I like to be free to pull a gun to your head and put it right upside you. Put a weapon, a firearm to your head and take all of your money. I'd like to be free to do things like that. It'll make me feel good. It'll get my rent paid quicker, right? I'd be better off if I could put a firearm to your head and take everything you have and take you out your car and strip your house clean of all of your valuables. See, if I had the freedom to do that, it would hurt you, however, right? That's how life works. You give up personal freedom. You give it up. You sacrifice it because you know your nation gains by your loss of freedom. What I'm telling you is the concept of civilized societies who believe in laws, who believe in rules. Why are we against interracial marriage? Because it breaks the rules, Nina. Although those rules might be something I might disagree with, if I fall in love with some Karen simply because I think she's the beautiful one and my aunts and mothers are ugly. She's the beautiful one and my sisters are foul and big-mouthed. Karen is the beautiful woman, the most desired woman, because she's the one on TV and on Instagram. I might want the freedom to choose the woman of my personal fetish or my personal kink or my personal lust. I might want that freedom. But if I'm willing to give up that freedom and to yield that freedom, then my nation can have families, can have mothers and fathers who raise up children, can have people who have come together, not in selfishness, but in selflessness for the sake of someone else. Let me show you the opposite of what I'm talking about right now, all right? You ready? She can't see this, can she? Can Nina see this? You got to push play. Let me hand this back to you. I'll just because I can't see the damn thing. All right. Go ahead. Unless you want to put it up there or just broadcast it, you can do your thing with that. Go ahead. Let me get up here real fast, people on the internet. Hold on. Do I have any questions in the room? Go ahead, Warrior.
I have a question. What's our stance on praying over food?
What's our stance on what?
Praying over food.
Praying over food. It's no sin if that's your question. I mean, you know, you can. That's fine. You know, it ain't magic. You know, you're thanking the Most High for the grub you're eating. Good idea. You know, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Everybody gets it. We have a traditional prayer I was taught when I was young in the school. I believe it means thank you for our food all day. All right. There's no rules on it. Like you don't have to pray over each, you know, crumb that goes into your mouth. You know, sometimes you can pray one time. You can pray, you know, every time, you know, do your thing. Everybody gets the point. All right. There's no rule concerning that. All right. Okay, solid. All right. So what was I bringing up to Nina right now? Nina, I'm assuming she's pro interracial marriage, right? Let's assume that. What I was just trying to explain to you, young brothers and sisters, is that interracial marriage is wrong. It might be your personal choice to be interracially married, but it's wrong. All right. And also, let me give you one more thing you might not understand. Not only is God against interracial marriage, God is against what you consider interracial sex, which is really what you're having any goddamn way. You ain't even getting interracially married. You're having interracial sex with, you know, every Karen you find. God is not only against you getting a marriage license, which is nothing but a contract, a financial agreement. He's against interracial sex. Everybody gets it, right? Okay, solid. All right. At least I can see these names on here. Good to go. All right, play the video for everyone, all right?
Relationship? No, friendship. Friendship. But I love her. Like, spend the night, we'll sleep in my bed, it don't nothing go down.
What was the purpose of the trip?
To have a baby together. Yeah.
You gotta rewind for me, Dad. Rewind.
So y'all are in.
Rewind. Now this is some type of. Would you say what? Oh, okay. So from the whatever, do your thing. Yeah, whatever you got to do to back it up. All right. This is some type of court show. Came up on my phone in the car on the way over here. Right. It's some type of court show with the sister up there pretending to be some judge or something, right? And she's settling a disagreement between these two black people. All right. But I just want you to hear the disagreement. All right. And then you tell me if a world like this is better, where everyone is allowed to do what they want to do, or if you would prefer a world with rules, a world where you cannot have sex with who you want, you cannot marry who you want. Let me see which world you prefer to be in. Check this world out right here. This is the world we live in tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah, friendship. But I love her. Like, spend the night, we'll sleep in my bed, it don't nothing go down.
What was the purpose of the trip?
To have a baby together. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So y'all are intimate.
No, we ain't intimate. We both brokers guy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So you gay?
No, I'm fluid. I don't like to be put in no box. If I meet you, then I like you, male, female, trans, it don't matter to me.
Okay.
If we got the right kind of energy, you
so
go
you
to
what we call in the straight community, greed.
Yeah, I eat it all up.
Okay, you smooth and you a lesbian.
Yes.
And so you was gonna let him get you pregnant so y'all can have a friendship baby.
Yeah, old time, good old sex.
What? So Ashley, do you want to carry his baby?
Yes, I do.
So y'all trying?
Yeah.
We ain't trying because I ain't talked to her since Miami last year.
She ran out with your money. So
Pause. Now, the sister Nina asked the question, are we against or pro interracial marriage? And of course, the stance of Commanding General Yahanna and the Israelite School of UPK is that we are absolutely against interracial sex of any kind because it is against the rules. And I'm trying to make you understand why those rules matter. Although you lose personal freedom, your nation gains stability. Your nation gains good families. Here is a new family about to start right now. with a man who is in essence a male prostitute who has sex with women, a male deviant that takes money for favors, for physical favors, and a woman who is also of the LGBT. Let me try to understand it. Both of them, she said, they're of the broke risk community, which means she likes women. He likes men, women, and the trans community. But he's mad at her because she paid him to give her a child, and she wants the child. But she never called him again for him to follow through with him getting her pregnant in a hotel. This is your family now. That's some baby's mother and father. Right there.
A few of the sisters in the comment section are saying you got scriptures to prove interracial marriage against God.
Oh, yeah, I got scriptures on everything, baby girl. Everything. They're coming. They were right after this breakdown I was laying on you nice and flat. All right? You're going to have families where everyone does what they want. Do you understand? The father, he likes penis. Whether it be a penis on a woman or a penis on a man pretending to be a woman or penis on a man being a whatever the hell's going on. He likes penis and he likes vagina. And he likes sexual parts of all genders. And of course, he gets paid money. Wait till your son finds out how he was born. That he was born in a hotel because your mother, who is an LGBT, paid your gay father money to make you. Congratulations. The mother is gay. And the mother paid your father, and they're in a hotel. And that is going to be some child's family. Now, in the world that God is creating, they would never be able to procreate. Do you understand? There will be rules. And these two would not be allowed to procreate at all. In doing so, we would save the family. The family structure would be sound and strong and stabilized for the next 1,000 years. Why? Because of the loss of freedom. And that's what good societies are built on. Not freedoms where you can have sex with anything, do anything, take anything, and you think it's the greatest place on the planet because that's going to be your mother and your father. A trans man and an LGBT woman. Salakia Yedaya. A man he's not a good man. That's for damn sure. This is no kind of father that you want to have. This is no kind of mother that you want to have. Give me my precepts, please. Go ahead.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son.
Take him above the taste, all right? And tell him where you started it from.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
So many of you want a day when blacks and Latinos can finally conquer repression. That day is coming. There's a day coming when you will decide the rules, when you will decide the government that governs you. That day is coming. We're fighting for that day right now. And the Most High God is telling you how to govern your land, how to govern it. Continue.
And utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
What does the word covenant mean? A covenant is like a bond where you decide, listen, we're one. We're together. This so-called marriage license that the IUIC and your mom love so much, that is a financial covenant. It means nothing about love. It means nothing about forever or togetherness or some bond that lasts a lifetime because you can get divorced the next day after you sign the marriage license. But it is a financial covenant. Your money is her money and her money is your money. It's a financial agreement. The Most High God said, don't make any covenants with them at all. None. Continue.
Nor show mercy unto them.
And don't show any mercy unto them either. Don't do that either. Because in that day, that's judgment day, brother. That's the day for justice. Continue.
Verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shall thou do what?
Make marriages with them.
Neither shall thou do what?
Make marriages with them.
There you go, Nina. That's all you need right there. It's right in the Bible. No big deal. It's a rule. Your preacher knows this rule. Your mom knows this rule. Your reverend, your Catholic priest, they all know this is in the Bible. Neither shall thou make marriages with them. Go ahead.
Thy daughter shalt thou shalt not give unto his son.
You understand? Thou daughter shalt thou not give to their son, because that's what happens in marriage. The parents give away the children to the person getting married. You are not allowed to give your daughter to a so-called oppressor. You're not allowed to give your daughter to an African. You're not allowed to give your daughter to some Asian. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do it. Continue.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
And you shall not take his daughter to be with your son. You cannot take an oppressor's daughter to marry your son. You cannot take an Asian daughter to marry your son. You cannot take an African daughter to marry your son. Continue.
Verse 4. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
This is why you can't have interracial marriage. For they will turn away thy son from following me. That's what's going to happen. That's what happened to Samson. So many of you idiots out there think that the story of Samson and Delilah is about hair. It has nothing to do with hair. The story of Samson and Delilah is about interracial marriage. That's what the story of Samson and Delilah is about. Interracial marriage. He wanted this heathen woman so bad that he lied in a bed and revealed all his secrets to her, hoping that she would give her body to him if he opened his heart and if he trusted her. And he did. And she gave his laws and his customs to the people she worked for, which were the Africans that you would call today. And those Africans used that knowledge to turn him into a slave. Interracial marriage is a sin and it's a crime against God. It's right here in the Bible. It's 10 other places. It's in Chronicles. It's all over the damn place. It's everywhere you want to look. Just point your finger on the Bible and you'll find interracial marriage. It's right there. It's every precept when the Most High God is telling Israel to be separate, to be holy. Everyone understands. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get you out your ignorance, really. That's really what I spend most of my day doing, to none avail. I try to put something in your stupid head, and I am failing at it. I'm trying to make you understand why this is a good thing. It doesn't seem good when we tell you you can't smoke weed, does it? It seems terrible. A lot of you you want to leave the truth, or you don't want to come into the school because you're not allowed to smoke weed in here. And I know you hate it. Why? Because it takes away your personal freedoms. I get it. You need weed. You work in that slavery, or you're poor, living on a couch, or Ubering all day. You're in that car like 100 hours a day in that car. And a car is like the perfect smoke box. You sit in that car, it's like a ready-made box of smoke. You can't get out the damn car because you're so poor. Then you go from Ubering to living in the car. And you're like in already a cocoon of smoke. So you want to smoke. You need it. Your slavery makes it damn near a necessity to get high. You need to get high. I get it. And you come into the UPK and we take away your personal freedom to smoke. We take away your personal freedom on who you can have sex with. You don't like that. You want to choose. You want to decide. You grown, ain't you? Yeah, you grown just like your mom was grown. Think about all her choices in men. Just like your dad was grown. Think about all his choices in women. Now you're grown too. You can make all the same mistakes your parents made. Congratulations. Or you could forego freedom. Give it up. So now you're no longer free to do whatever you want. It's a sacrifice. But if you're willing to make it, the loss of that freedom will gain a family. The loss of that freedom will gain a nation. You're not going to have sex with who you want to have sex with anymore. That's over. That's done. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to eat whatever you want anymore. You're not allowed to celebrate Christmas anymore. That's over. No more Christmas. No more Thanksgiving. It hurts. It hurts. I get it. I understand. But the loss of that personal freedom will be the gain to your nation. Everyone understands. All right. That's all I can do for you, Nina. Go ahead. Please.
Breaking down Hebrews 4:12.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically where it says, dividing asunder of soul and spirit, but a general breakdown of the whole scripture.
So, go ahead and read it.
Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful.
You know what the word quick means? Quick means alive. You want to say something, warrior? No, sir. Quick. No, I'm sorry. Now I was talking to the brother behind you. I thought you had your hand up. You didn't have your hand up. The word quick or quickening means giving life. Quick means alive, like to be quick, or the state of being quick. It means lively or life, all right? So the word of God is alive. What's the word of God? The Bible that we all read out of. The Bible that contains what? Our rules. This book is alive, brother. You apply it to your personal life, and it fixes things today from rules set down 6,000 years ago. All right? It's alive. Continue.
And powerful.
And what?
And powerful.
Oh, listen, man. It's not muted, right? It's not limp. It's not ineffective or ineffectual. The Bible is absolutely powerful. It changes things in your life. It fixes things in your life, right? All of your personal choice that you've had, that's how you ruin your stupid ass life. From all of your decision making, which is terrible. My God, you're bad at making choices. Ooh, you got absolutely no wisdom at all. You don't know how to choose things. You choose things based on lust. You choose things based on emotions and based on childhood trauma. Which is why that man up there on that screen who was about to have a baby with the LGBT woman, you notice he says, the woman says, well, are you alternative lifestyle? He says, no, I don't like labels. I don't want to be. So many of you nasty people say that. You don't even want to be called a thing. Like, that's how much freedom you want. You can't even say, well, are you? That's why they have LGBTQ. Because you can't even just call them the G word. Because even that is too confining. No, you can't just call me that word. I'm without labels. No, I can't even be put into, I can't say the word with the G in it, can I? I can't even just be a label. Imagine trying to be on a team and you'd be like, oh, don't call me the 76ers. No. See, I'm all basketball. I'm all the teams. You'd be like, what? You all the teams? How the hell are you all the teams? But they play different. They play each other. And they separate. They're in different tags. You all the basketball teams? It would make no sense to anyone except for LGBT people. That makes sense to them because they cannot stand rules. Even the rules of being called a thing, of having a name. They cannot stand that. They cannot stand, oh, don't call me that. I like men, women, trans, beans, greens, and potatoes. I like them all. All right. Okay, Jerome, no problem. You everything and all things. I get you. Well, here's of course the problem with that is what is the effect that's going to have on that child you're about to make. You're making the decision on who you have. Can I say the S word? You're making a decision on who you have relations with based on childhood traumas. That's why you like everybody. Because you have a desire for women, which is natural and good, but your uncle who raped you your uncle who assaulted you was not. They cut me off. Dyer, God damn it, give your Dyer a hand. You know what he's talking about. I'm trying the best I can. I was telling Jordan Mayat, I need to stand on a milk crate and yell outside on the street, because that is who I am. I need a milk crate and some wood and go outside and yell at everybody that walks by. Because anything else is too complicated for me. Salakia, you die. He's trying the best he could. Anyway, moving on. I'm still alive, but I'm listen. Stay on your job. Come up here and just throw a book at me. Damn, I can take it. Anyway, what was I about to say? So, once again, you're going to have some type of rules on what you do. You make decisions based on things you shouldn't make decisions based on. You shouldn't make decisions based on trauma. It's a mistake, right? But you shouldn't choose your relationship partners because of who hurt you as a child. It's a mistake to do that, right? And that's what happens. I watched the interview recently in some psychology seminar I went to, and this was a woman that said she went to Vietnam she was in some war-torn place, I think Africa somewhere. And she said that when she was a little child, some soldier kicked her in her head and beat her up, and her family got her out of that country and brought her to America. And she, of course, grew up and became a soldier. And that's human nature. That's flesh. Somebody beats you up and ruins your life and kicks you in your head, you're going to become a United States soldier. In your mind, that's how you avoid the pain. That's how you strengthen yourself, by becoming the thing that hurts you. Well, you choose relationship partners on that, on childhood trauma. You shouldn't choose relationship partners. You're terrible at it. You should let the Most High God choose, and you should let the fathers in your life choose. Everyone understands? All right, let the Most High choose. Keep going. The Most High God, he gave us the Bible, and it's alive, and it's powerful, and it's sharper than any two-edged sword. This scripture is about cutting people. Now, that's a UPK phrase, to cut someone. This is why we use the phrase that cat got cut. You see Captain Tazariot, he cuts people. You go in there, you try to battle him and run your stupid mouth, and he cuts you. Why? Not because of any personal strength of his own, but because of the power of the Bible that he mastered. That's why he can do it so well. That's where it comes from. You get these officers in the UPK that cut people all day on the internet in that camp. That is not because of their personal strength or their personal knowledge or their personal intelligence. It's because they wield the power of that Bible. And if you do that, you're going to cut people. You understand? It's like a two-edged sword. Continue.
Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
It pierces even unto the dividing asunder. Asunder is like separate. So imagine you getting cut so deep it chops your arm from your body, or it chops your leg from your waist, or whatever. That's how powerful the word of God is. It cuts you where it'll separate your what? Read it again.
Dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
The separating or dividing the what?
Of soul and spirit.
The what?
Soul and spirit.
What is a soul? I almost gave it to you just now by saying a soul, Malak. The person is the soul. That's correct. So each one of us is a soul, right? You have a body. That body is the physical home for a soul. When that body dies, your soul does not die. Your soul simply gets a new house. All right? Reincarnation. Everybody understands. What is spirit, Malak? Give me more. How this soul behaves, how this soul acts, the things this soul likes and does not like. Well, the word of God is so powerful, it will separate you from your lifestyle. You understand, Malak? So now it's me. I'm Mahayaman, right? I wasn't always, what the damn thing? I wasn't always Mahayaman. I used to be someone else, right? But the UPK under Commanding General Yahanna separated me from crime and violence and lust and selfishness. It divided me from who I was. That's what the word of God can do. It is the only effective way to change someone. That's it. There is no other way. You brothers out there in that 12-step program, listen, get ready to get your new pen. You're going to get a I've been clean 30 days pen. I've been clean 50 days pen. Then guess what your next pen is? I've been clean 1 day. You're going to relapse. It's built into the program, relapsing. Right? NA, Alcoholics Anonymous. That's why they give you the pens. Because they know you're going to need new pens. Because you're always going to relapse. There is nothing else that can change you at all. It cannot work. Moving cannot change you. I need a fresh start in life. Some of you women think that. I'm going to move and get a new fresh start in California. When you move up to California, California gets a new worker of the delights of pleasures and mouth engineering. California gets a new mouth engineer when you move out to California. You will not change who you are because you change your address. That's not going to happen, all right? It doesn't work for anyone. What works is sacrificing your will, your freedom to God's. That works. That absolutely works. If you believe in Jesus Christ and really understand Jesus Christ, it is impossible to not honor his sacrifice with your sacrifice, with a sacrifice of your own. It's impossible. It gives you such a guilty conscience that you would rather not be here than disappoint him. It's the only thing that changes anything, which is what this precept is about. You understand? Next question.
Unless you wanted to address this, we got a brother on TikTok saying, you don't know what you're talking about, but he's on the live supporting the Palestinians in their flag.
Listen, I can do it. I could. Listen, why not support the Palestinians? They haven't been slaves. They're not on the BET Hip Hop Awards jumping around. Sexy Red is not a Palestinian, is she? No. Nicki Minaj is not a Palestinian, right? There's no reason to be embarrassed by being a Palestinian. Listen, it doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't be surprised if every Black and Latino outside of the UPK didn't give their full allegiance and support to either the so-called Jewish person or the Palestinians. Why? Because your mother was not Palestinian. Your father, who you hate, he wasn't Palestinian. You ever been afraid to bring your friends to your house? See the roaches on your house? You only want to bring them over there, do you? You grow up, your friends want to come over to your house. Nah, nigga, we ain't coming to my house. Or you bring somebody to your house and a roach crawls on them. Oh, y'all don't know about that. Roach crawl right. I'm sorry. God damn it. Yeah, you see, that didn't happen in a Palestinian home. It happened in a Black home, in a Mexican home, in a Puerto Rican home. You're embarrassed to be Black. And you would love if you could wash that Blackness off of you. If you could just be free from it and now be the decent and honorable people of Palestine. Free Palestine from the river to the sea. Palestine must be free. Where are you going home tonight? In the ghetto. Brother, support the Palestinians. Keep on, but they need your help. No problem. I'm sure once Palestine is free, they will devote their attention to freeing the ghetto, won't they? Right? I'm sure all the Palestinians will show up on your block to tell their friends and cousins who own the stores in the ghetto that they should give you the keys to the store. And that they should give you the Pampers in this corner store that they sell. And they should stop selling weed out of those same corner stores. I'm sure the Palestinians will devote their attention to freeing the reservations and the barrios and the ghettos once you've made sure Palestine is free. So keep going, brother. I support you in it. Keep doing it. At least you don't have to be a Black person for a few days.
That's right.
Right? Good enough. Go ahead.
What else came and said, so you think what the so-called Jew unaliving their babies, you agree with that being okay?
No, I do not agree. I don't agree with unaliving anyone at all. Why? Because unaliving people is against our rules. That's against our rules to unalive man, women, or children. It's a cowardly act. And if Black people were in charge of this planet, there would be no unaliving of children. Let me give you the solution, just for time's sake, all right? I was going to walk you down the road to this. What's the brother's name? I was going to walk you down the road to this. Say again? Adolf, let me walk you down the road to this, all right? You really do not love the Palestinians at all. You don't really love them. Your love for the Palestinians started once it got hot on TikTok. You don't love the Palestinians at all right? If you love the Palestinians, this is what you would do. You would fight day and night, sacrifice your entire paycheck, give up everything in your life to make sure that the Israelite school of UPK runs the world. That is the only way that Palestine will ever be free. The problem with Palestine is Palestinians are controlled by Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Israeli army. The only way the planet can be free is if Black people run the world, if Latinos run the world. The day that Palestine and Israel bow down before their new Black overlords, peace will reign on the earth. There will be peace on this earth. Give it to me in the Bible, officers. Give me, they shall study war no more. You can't ever make Palestine free by putting anyone over Palestine who is not black or Latino. Black men from America got to run Palestine. Mexicans got to run Palestine. Puerto Ricans, Haitians have to run Palestine. And that's the only way Palestine can be free. You're mad about the war in Africa, the genocide in Africa? Black people from America have to run Africa. Puerto Ricans have to run Africa. The only way there will be peace on this planet is if the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel run the planet. If you are not fighting for that, you're fighting for genocide. If you're not fighting for black people to rule Palestine, for Puerto Ricans to rule Palestine, you're on the side of genocide. I'm going to prove it to you in the Bible. Also give me, who does not gather with me scatters abroad. Read the precept. Tell a young brother where it is. Tell Hitler what it is. I mean, Adolf, Salaki, brother. Tell Adolf where it is. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations.
He's going to do what?
Judge among the nations.
Listen, this scripture is about Jesus Christ and the men that he will lead. He will judge among the nations. Who do you got judging you? Hamas? Hezbollah? Netanyahu? That's your judge. That's what you do. What are you doing over there in Palestine? Voting? What's your problem? You're voting. You're going to some ballot box and choosing some man from a richer class than you're in to rule over you? What do you thought that was going to change things in Palestine? Huh? You think Netanyahu is going to fix the war over in the Middle East? The Most High God will judge among the nations. Continue.
And shall rebuke many people.
And he shall do what?
Rebuke many people.
He shall rebuke many people. What does rebuke mean? Chastise them. The Most High God would absolutely chastise the so-called land of Israel for the genocide that they commit against the Palestinians. He would absolutely chastise the Palestinians for selling weed in the ghetto, for doing that, which they do. They absolutely do that. They have been doing that since about the 70s. They've been doing that. The Arabs who come over here to America and sell drugs and sell pork in your ghettos, and everyone knows about it. Continue.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
Listen carefully, Hitler. They shall beat their swords, Salak Adolf. They shall beat their swords into plowshares. Right now, the Israelis have weapons. They got nuclear weapons over in Israel, right or wrong. They got nuclear weapons, they got tanks, they got jets. Well, if black people, if Hispanics were in charge of this world, we would make them take their tanks and turn those tanks into plows. They would take their guns and turn those guns into something that breaks up the ice or irrigates the water or somehow, fertilizes the ground. We would take all of their weapons and re-engineer them into farming equipment. That's here in the Bible. So if you want peace in the Middle East, you're going to have black people rule the Middle East. You're going to have Hispanics rule the Middle East. There will never be a Palestinian leader that will ever make Palestine free. It will never happen. There will never be an Israeli leader that will ever create peace in the Middle East. It will never happen. But black people could make peace in the Middle East, and they will. Hispanics will absolutely make peace in the Middle East because we will force them to turn all of their weapons into farming equipment. Keep reading.
And their spears into pruning hooks.
We'll take their spears and turn their spears into what you prune a tree with. To shorten the branches on the tree to make sure the tree grows more productive. We'll turn their spears into pruning hooks. Keep going.
Nation shall not lift up sword against nation.
Hitler, did you hear that? Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. I want peace in Palestine. I have to rule Palestine to give it peace.
That's right.
I will. One day I will rule Palestine. One day I'll absolutely decide who lives and is not that way anymore in Palestine. It'll happen. And then the children will play in the streets of Palestine. Oh, it's going to be heartwarming. Wait until black people rule Palestine. Brother, the children will play in the streets. They're going to be eating falafel, hummus, playing games, having a good time, as long as black people from the ghettos of America rule Palestine. As soon as that happens, as long as brothers from the reservations rule Palestine. Keep going.
Neither shall they learn war anymore.
They're not even going to learn how to fight anymore. They're going to be farmers. Netanyahu is about to be a farmer. That's what he's going to be. And then you'll have peace on earth. Everyone understands. All right. Let me know if the brother understood. All right. Any other questions? Go ahead. I'm going to get you in the back, Malak. Go ahead. You got a precept? You got that one I asked for? Hold that for a second. I'll grab it from you in a minute. Go ahead.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Officer Knox. He asked in Hosea 4:2. He said, "What is an example of swearing?"
Okay, go ahead and break it. Get the precept we asked about.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, in verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches
A little more
blood.
tonic in there, a little less of that sour, more tonic. Throw out, I appreciate. Oh, this right here. Read it one more time.
By swearing and lying.
I'll give it to you. Swearing is an oath that you make before a priest. That's when you swear. It's like a promise that is legally binding. You understand? A swear is not, I swear for my kids. What's that thing, black people? I put this on my kids. I put this on my mama. That is you just being dumb and talking, and it means nothing. All right. It's wrong, and you should not do it. But it is absolutely not legally binding, which is why you do it so much, right? Because you can just lie and nothing happens. I put this on my kids. Well, you're lying when you say that. But no one comes to arrest you. No one hurts you. No one stones you, which is why you swear so much, because you know it means nothing. Actual swearing is a promise that is legally binding. The best way to understand it is it's, what do they call it in court? Perjury. If you've been to court, which I've been there too much, perjury is when you go up there, you take an oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You make it on the Bible, which is where the laws about not swearing are, right? And then you sit on the trial and you lie. And then they can arrest you for telling that lie, all right? So a swear is a promise that is absolutely legally binding. But when you swear and lie, that's a crime, which is what it just said just now. Go ahead and read it. Mm-hmm.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 2. By swearing and lying and killing.
You understand? Swearing and lying. You gave your oath and your promise to do something. You lied about that. And you're stealing. Keep going.
And committing adultery.
And committing adultery, which is a man having relations with a woman who is not his own, or a woman having relations with someone who is not her man. Keep going.
They break out and blood touches blood.
Then there's no more peace on earth, because everyone is breaking God's commandments. Everyone understands, right? So Christ said this about swearing. Christ said, don't swear at all. Don't make promises. Why? Because you don't have enough power to guarantee that what you're saying you're going to do, you actually do. You don't know that. Don't swear you'll be there tomorrow by 5 o'clock. You think that you can make sure you'll be there, but you cannot. Can you add 1 cubit to height by swearing? Can you turn the color of your hair from one color to another by swearing? Well, then if thou canst not do a small thing, how canst thou do a big thing? You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So don't swear. Just say, rather, Lord willeth. Will you call me tomorrow? Lord allow, I'll call you tomorrow. Could happen, right? What am I speaking about? When you lie to women on a constant, every day, all day basis, right? Lying to women is convenient. It is a very convenient thing because most women prefer to be lied to than to be told the truth. So it is extremely convenient to be able to use lies with a woman. It's easier, it's better, it's convenient, right? But of course, if you tell those kinds of lies, then of course your woman believes you're a liar, and then that causes bigger problems than even saying something and not doing it. So what you want to say rather is, I will be there tomorrow, Lord allow. I'll call you tomorrow, Lord allow. I'll show up for the birth of that baby, Lord allow. Might not be there. It could happen. But Lord allow, I would like to be there. I would intend to be there, Lord allow, I'll be there. Everybody gets it, all right? That's the opposite of swearing. All right, next. Malak, you was just holding the precept? Go ahead, up. The water warrior for the drink. Go ahead, up. No, your question.
I'm going to break down 1 Timothy 5 and 16. General breakdown. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 16. If any man or woman that believeth have widows, let them relieve them, and let not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows indeed.
Right. This is Jesus Christ, who taught Peter how to run the school. This is about the organization of the school. What book is this in? 1 Timothy. I forget what city this was in. Whatever city this is that Timothy was over. I believe it was a Greek city, right? And Timothy was in charge of the school there under Paul, who was under Peter. Everyone understands, right? And so as he's in the city, the people of the city begin to complain about how the widows in the truth didn't have any food, were not being taken care of. So Timothy is saying, let's make sure we feed these widows and look after these widows so that the school is not blamed. You understand? Read it one more time.
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 16. If any man or woman that believeth have widows, let them be relieved. Let them relieve them.
Let them relieve who? The widows. If any brother or sister who believe, meaning people in the truth, if you have a widow, meaning your mother might be a widow because your father died, or your mother's husband passed away, or your aunt might be single because her husband died, was unalive, or her husband is gone, right? That means you have a widow. There's a woman in your life who does not have the protection of a man. Well, if that's the case, Timothy will relieve that woman. He'll take care of her. This is the reason. Keep going.
Let not the church be charged.
For what reason?
And let not the church be charged.
So that the church is not blamed for the poverty of that widow, who is a family member of someone in the school. Is this something that happens right now in the Israelite School of UPK? This is why we have food drives all over the planet. If you're in the truth and you have widows, there's a sister or somebody in extreme poverty, and they know you, well, we're bringing a food drive to your city, man. As a matter of fact, this Saturday out of Harlem, New York, which is where headquarters is, we're having a food giveaway. There's a food, General Katham Gabar. General Katham Gabar is organizing a food giveaway in New York, where we're going down to the shelters that house the immigrants in New York. The same immigrants that the citizens of New York hate. The citizens of New York protest these shelters because they're so inhospitable and they're not neighborly. And that because of that, they hate these poor brothers and sisters who came to America for the same opportunity that all of us came here for. Well, they hate these immigrants. Commanding General Yohanna loves them. And he's sending General Katham Gabar to New York this Saturday with other brothers to go feed the brothers and sisters who are living in the immigrant shelters in New York. Be there this Saturday. This is why we do it. And this is so important for you officers to understand why we have food programs, why we give to the poor, and why the Most High God commanded that we do so in the Old and the New Testament. The Old Testament has a law to tend to the poor. So anytime you're giving alms or taking care of the poor, you're fulfilling the will of God. It's a righteous thing to do. But it is even more important to do when you are trying to establish a new government. When you're trying to take control away from the people who fail at feeding the poor, and to now let the poor know that you can rely on us, we will feed you. We're doing this because this establishes our dominance over the police, over the social services of this society, over the churches, over the rich people that we all beg every day to help us and that never help us. We're telling the poor, there's a new government here now. There's a new daddy in this house now. There's someone new that feeds you. This must be done to practice and to demonstrate our absolute supremacy over the religious leaders of the past. Does everyone understand? You understand, Malak, correct? All right, next.
Shalom, gentlemen. I got to break down on 2 Corinthians 11 and verse 6. The rude part of the scripture, is it saying that Paul used vulgar language, or is he unlearned in the language?
I got you. Where's the word vulgar at? Any more hecklers?
Oh, yeah. A few of those.
You rather not do them? Just let me know. I mean, you know. Go ahead. It's for the young brothers. They like it. Go ahead. If you want, I'll do the brothers' questions first, all right? And then we can get to some hecklers, okay? Go ahead.
Brother, I asked this because fake Israelites use the definition of rude to say that Paul was unskilled in the language, but not in the knowledge that he had.
Unskilled in the language. Paul was rude in speech. How about that? Is that good enough? Because that's what it says. All right. So we'll go ahead and read it one more time. Go ahead and break it down.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 6. But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge.
Though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. So rude does not mean vulgar, right? Rude does not mean these words are curse words. Rude means impolite, right? Impolite is rude. This is something that they've been saying about Command and General Yohanna's camp, you know, since 1969. They put us in that Barack Obama movie. Shut up, you white woman, you dirty bee. I watched that. I said, man, that is, you know, I've done that a million times. I don't know how many times I've called somebody a bee at camp. I can't even count how many times I have done that. I've done that. I've made a career of doing that. I made a career of going to Mark the 11th chapter and reading that precept about that white woman that Christ called a dog. I made a career of it. I understand that. People consider that rude. You understand? Because you're not supposed to say the B word like that. You know, women don't like that, brother. That's not gentlemanly. Women hate that word. You know they don't like that. They're the gasp. They never heard that word before. They don't know what that is. It's rude to say that Christ called a white woman. I can't say the B word. I'm assuming. Is that correct? Christ called the white woman a female dog. Right? That's UPK 101, 1969. Christ called the white woman a dog. That is what we do. That's how we talk. Now, is it rude? Yes. Yes, you got us. It is absolutely rude to say something like that. It hurts people's feelings. It is not polite. But sometimes, even though we talk like that, what we're saying is still true because Christ did call a white woman a dog. Do you understand? It's rude to talk about it because it hurts your feelings. I get it. You're a sensitive flower. You're a delicate, delicate flower. You're like crystal, like a crystal vase. You might break if I say the B word here tonight. I said the B word. IUIC did 1,000 clips about me calling somebody a B. Because the IUIC are delicate, delicate flowers, rare like snowflakes. And I hurt them by calling a woman a bee because they're rare and special snowflakes in the IUIC. Sorry, Salakia. But the knowledge is true, however. He did call her a bee. That did happen. Everybody understands? Though we be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. The knowledge ain't rude. Because if you will accept that Christ called a white woman a bee, then you'll accept that blacks and Latinos are the chosen people of God. And she is not. And that knowledge ain't rude. That knowledge is glorifying and uplifting. And it raises self-esteem to know that she's not precious to Jesus, but I am. That's not rude knowledge. That's beautiful. It breaks the baby doll test. Give me the baby doll test up on here. The sister asked earlier, well, is it interracial marriage wrong? The Palestinian lover said, well, what about the Palestinians? The baby doll test that the Supreme Court did in the 60s, then they did it again in the 80s, and with the same results, is the reason you love the Palestinians and the Israelis and the reason you want to marry oppressors' daughters, because you hate yourself, and you always have. If you would accept the fact that Jesus Christ called the white woman a female dog, and that he said it is not meat, it is not good to give the children's bread unto the dogs. That knowledge would let you know how glorious and beautiful you are. And that's not rude. That's not rude, all right? When the brother gets it, he'll put it up on the screen. Next question. Remember, I think earlier in this class today, is interracial marriage wrong? Why aren't you talking about the Palestinians? This is where it comes from right here. Malak.
The question where it says, answer not a fool according to his folly.
Right. Answer not a fool according to his folly is like, somebody's dumb as hell and they're stupid and they want you to get into a stupid debate. Don't get in a dumb debate. Crush him with a heavy debate. You understand? Let me think of something that a young idiot might do in the truth, like something you might argue about. I don't know. You maybe argue about LeBron James or what's the other one? Michael Jordan. You get in a whole beef about that, and you battle him. I don't know why you beat that. Maybe that's not a good example, but it's a stupid argument because it's an opinion. You understand? Or the greatest rapper alive, brothers. Don't fight each other over who's the greatest rapper alive, because the greatest rapper alive is an opinion. You understand? Who's the greatest impressionist painter ever? Who knows? Of course you don't, because I don't gotta say it. I said it enough. I don't want to be rude. You're stupid. Dumb. You argue about who the greatest rapper is. You don't argue about who the greatest impressionist painter is. You don't argue about who the greatest surrealist is. You don't argue about who is the best composer. You don't argue about that. You argue about some idiocy that rich men want you to argue about. Right? Don't do that. You can like whoever you want to like. You understand? Whoever you like is good. Fine. Like him, love him. Who gives a damn? That's stupid to argue about that. If someone is arguing about that, what you should do is do what I just did. This was educational. Instead of arguing about who the best rapper is, I made a heavier argument that crushed both of them. That's your precept. All right? You ready? Let me know. Go ahead. Stop. The Dow test is a psychological. Can I get that? I don't know what they call it. The Dow test is a psychological experiment designed in the 1940s in the USA to test the degree of marginalization felt by African American children caused by prejudice and discrimination and racial segregation. This is the Dow test. Go ahead. Stop. We have recreated it with Italian children. Keep going. Yes.
Quale bambola è bianca?
Now, this is from America. They did it first. Do you have the original one? This is good. This is them going to Italian children in Italy, showing them black children and white children. Go ahead and play. Which doll is white?
Quale bambola è nera? Quale delle due è bella?
Questa.
Qual è quella bella? Qual è quella brutta? E qual è quella buona? Quale è cattiva?
That one I hate to even watch. Turn it off. I can't even watch that. That's too much for me to watch. Because that black girl is realizing she knows which one is the bad one. She knows which one is the ugly one. And it's the one that she is. I haven't seen that in years, and I wish I didn't watch it just now. That's why you love the Palestinians when you're black. That's why you love the Israelis. That's why you want to date women outside of your race, because you know you're the bad one. You're the ugly one. What was your question? Go ahead.
Is there any importance when he asks him like which one is the white doll or
They want to establish, it's a scientific method. With science, you got to first establish, do you know what white is? Yes, this one is white. This one is black. Which one is bad? This white one. What about this black one? Which one is good? This white one. Which one is ugly? The black one. And they're asking white kids and black kids. And they all have the same answer. This test was the same in the 40s. They did it in the 80s. They did it in other countries. It was always the same. Always the same. Which is why black people in America are focused on Palestine when they live in Brooklyn and in Harlem and in Queens. When they live in North Philly. Because the ugly people live in North Philly. You understand? Malak.
I remember you gave the like how to go about correcting it. So how early in a child's life should you start it?
Well, I started it, brother, 2, 1, this is how you correct it. You have to teach your child that what the white doll is ugly. Right. That's the only way to fix it. That's it. Many people think you can fix it by just teaching that black is beautiful. That does not work. Because society will be constantly countering what you teach. And without having anger, your love can't work. Because you're like, this black one is beautiful. This black one is pretty. Emoji. You're going to be Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed about the whole thing. Blackness is pretty. Well, then your child goes home and they go to school and they're on the bus and they're learning. This one is beautiful. This one is rich. This one doesn't have roaches. This one has money. This one has a good Christmas. The only way to fix it is to make him hate that one. So then he'll hate the money because this one has money. Hate Christmas because this one has Christmas. He won't be able to stand oppressors. And then when they flex their money and their Christmas, he'll look at it like, F you with your Christmas. F you with your money. F you with your mansion. And that works, young man. Oh, that works. I teach my children how ugly oppressors are, 2 years old. Now, what can happen? Sometimes they go to school and tell the teacher, oh, it happens. Listen, that's the price of it. You get a call, oh, yeah, I was talking to little Aria. He said that white people was ugly and stupid. Well, listen, Miss Johnson, let me come down there Tuesday morning and explain the whole thing to you. Big deal. I'll see you Tuesday morning. We'll sit down in the office and I had to talk to these teachers, man, Tuesday. Wednesday afternoon, come down there and have some discussions and they understand. You got to be able to defend what you teach. So you got to go down there to that school some Wednesdays. You're dying.
My sister called me saying, my niece's school called me. She goes to St. Cyril. They said the teachers want to speak with me. What they want to speak with me for? So she made Christ black and then said that oppressor is the devil.
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here at this conference, cover all my feet.
Yeah. Get down there. That's all. Come down there Thursday afternoon, man, and talk to the teacher. Guess what the teacher will absolutely know about? Although she forgot. What will she know about? Who can blow my mind with the answer? She's an educator. What will she absolutely remember when she reminds her? The doll test. She'll remember that. I bring up the doll, and they go, oh, right, the doll test. Yeah, right. So this is what I have to do to make sure that, my child isn't another sad statistic. I've done this to judges. You go in the courtroom and remind the judge of the doll test. Remind the judge of all of the black criminals that come before her bench. And none of them were in the Israelite school of UPK. None of them thought white kids were ugly, right? They believed the white kids were beautiful. So beautiful that they had to get money just like them. You understand? And judges go, okay, well, now I get it. Now I understand. You got to be able to make people understand something that's strange to them. It is normal for black people to have low self-esteem. You see when they're battling black people over Palestine, he lives in a ghetto. It's normal for black people to have low self-esteem. It is abnormal for black people to have high self-esteem. People will not understand it. So show up to the school Thursday morning. That's all. Explain the whole thing to Miss Johnson and the principal and the vice principal. When your daughter then walked in there and called everybody a devil in the school. Okay, because that is what's going to happen. Okay, your little baby, you a devil and you a devil and you ugly and the white man's a devil. Your little baby girl is going to do that. That's part of this job. Show up Wednesday morning and work the whole thing out. All right, go ahead.
So I was going to say, my son, he goes to school and he lets people know that he's an Israelite. And his one sister come against me.
Yeah.
And I said, my son called me like right there. I said, well, call me like after school and I'll talk to her. She like dad, and I'm going to talk to her through the phone. She was like, I ain't got time to talk. I said, yeah. I said the reason why she did that because she knew you couldn't really defend it. If I would have came, she ain't had nothing to say.
Yeah. How old is he?
13.
13. It's time for him to learn. 13 is when he's gonna have to step up and open his mouth and defend what he believes.
Right.
That's it, Doc. That's what you'll have to do. And in doing so, you will establish our supremacy over the religions of the past. Right. Your 13-year-old needs to be able to go in school and explain exactly why he believes it. He'll do it in his school today. He'll be doing it in front of the Supreme Court tomorrow. You understand? All right, next. Please.
I think Adolf might be on a turn lifestyle. He said something about his sunglasses killed him, so you know.
Sunglasses is killing him. I don't know what that means. I'm not up on the new slang. I don't understand that. I need him to see. That's for damn sure. Okay, so these are prescription sunglasses, Adolf. Next question. Go ahead.
Sister had a good question. She first asked, Corey, I'll let myself ask her in the comments.
Gotcha.
You wanted to expound on it.
If you want.
She was asking, like, how can you be black and, support Israel? Like, I'm assuming she.
Okay, she doesn't. Yeah, we do not support Netanyahu or the Israelis. There is no bigger enemy to the Israelis than us. They've been trying to get rid of us since 1969. You see, we're on the Southern Poverty Law's hate group list. Right? The Israelis and the so-called Jewish people have been hating the Israelite school of UPK since 1969. We didn't start doing this on TikTok last week or last year like you. The Israelis have been trying to destroy this school. And when I say trying to destroy it, I mean actively dragging us into court. Actively. The Jewish Defense League, what's those other names of those groups that constantly sue us? What's the one down there in Canada that were trying to wipe out Officer Bun? Give me that letter that they sent to us. If Bun is listening, give me that letter they sent to Commanding General Yohanna. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Canada again, I think in a week or something. Or in 2 weeks, I'll be in Canada again. Well, this time last year, Commanding General Yohanna sent me out to Canada to support Officer Bun and Commanding General Yohanna's camp in Canada, which Officer Bun is in charge of. We began to go on the internet and tell everyone we were going out there. Do you know the mayor of Toronto contacted the school telling us we can't come? Telling us don't come out to Trinidad, don't come out to Canada because the United Jewish Defense League said that we were a hate group and we weren't allowed to come into Canada. We went to Canada any goddamn way. Went to Canada anyway. We out in the park having a barbecue. I'm wondering where are all these oppressors coming from just everywhere around us, like they were looking at the zoo, like they were watching a safari. Then I remembered about the whole letter. This was in the damn paper. I think I found out about it after we came back. And I'm wondering what's all this mess that we're down here? Does anyone have it? A Bun definitely has it. It's a letter that the mayor of Toronto sent to headquarters in Harlem. Yeah, and it was sent by the Jewish Defense League. Yeah, brother. Listen, I know you just found out about the country of Israel like last year when the bombing started, but the so-called Jewish man has been trying to destroy us since the late 60s. We do not support them. Let me tell you how bad it gets. We don't believe that they're even Jews at all.
That's right.
We believe they're not even Jews. We believe they're just other white people. That's all they are. Just regular old white people. We believe that black people are the true biblical ethnic Jews, the tribe of Judah. We believe Hispanics are members of the 12 tribes of Israel. We believe the so-called North American Indians and Seminole Indians are the chosen people of God. We don't even believe that the land of Israel has any Jews in it.
That's right.
It's nothing but another country propped up by the aggression and the military might of white people. And that's that. And we paid the price for teaching this. You understand me? We haven't been out, in the streets, with rags around our heads, going back home and having sex with some Palestinian girl. You think I don't know what you're doing? I'm sorry, you brothers out there in them Palestinian marches are just trying to sleep with Palestinian girls. You think this is my first day meeting you? Can you imagine how much Palestinian tail them brothers are getting? Oh, God. Free Epic Stein. What's the name of it? Palestine, free Palestine. You don't even know what in the hell you're talking about. But I know you was tearing up Palestinian tail, going to town on it. How do I know? Because I study history. And I remember back in the 60s, the Vietnam War. Stop the Vietnam War. Stop the Vietnam War. The Black Panthers out there. The Vietnam War is wrong. What was brothers doing in the 60s? Tearing the drawers off of white liberal women who were protesting the Vietnamese war. That's what the Black Panthers was having relations with every liberal white girl who was against the Vietnamese war. Now you brothers are out there in the Palestinian protests, tearing the jihad off of Palestinian women. Listen, that's up to you. All right, listen, don't get me involved in it. Look at this here. When is this? What's the date on this here? You know? Cool. Who found this? That was good work. B'nai B'rith warns Toronto authorities about haters' plans to rally in the city this weekend. Don't tell me about the damn Israelis. You don't know anything about the Israelis. You just found out the country existed from TikTok 6 months ago. The Jewish people hate us. Their government cannot stand us. They're calling the mayor about us. They're trying to stop us. And we faithfully have warded their aggressive attempts against us since 1969. What have you done? Go stand next to some Palestinian girl trying to get with her? Huh? Trying to sleep with the woman? I gotta go. When is this? 2024. That's the date, 2022. Listen, shut your mouth about anything. You don't know anything at all. Please, come on.
This has been a theme in class. We did the past couple of weeks. That's actually had a lot of Arabs and so-called Jews and brothers come out. You know what I mean? I don't know why they come to our class and come out. Adolf was chasing Palestinian brothers.
Adolf, I didn't know you was like that. I'm out of it, Adolf. That's up to you. I'm leaving it alone, Adolf. All right, let me give you a few precepts. How are we with time? We got to wrap it, right? You got any more questions you want to do? Let me do, throw water up, Bun. A Bun hooked it up for me. I appreciate it, Warrior. Let me get that precept from you. We support the Israel. All right, you got the one I asked you about, Malak, right? Let me finish up with that one. Also, let me show you also for the Palestinians and the Israelis. Let me tell you, I know you're fresh new in the protesting. The Israelite School of UPK under Commanding General Yahanna has been having a once-a-week protest since 1969. Can you imagine? Some of you out there, you're protesting hot and heavy for a year. We've been protesting every weekend since 1969. Commanding General Yahanna has not had a weekend to himself since the early 80s. Never. Since the early 80s, he has not had a weekend to himself. Now you protest in Palestine because you just figured out that the oppressors are evil. You found that out last year. We've been teaching this since 1969. We've been protesting since 1969. We're an expert at it. You're not. And let me show you how it's done. I'm going to give you a precept. Give me Proverbs. This is a good one. Wait a second. Oh, man. Hold on 1 second, Adolf. Carolyn, video. I got so many of these. Here it is. Proverbs 18:3, and then I'll end it with the one Malak had earlier, unless there's questions. If so, you better ask them now. Also, I think this Thursday, I'll be, of course, in Harlem, New York at headquarters for, I think, Hanukkah. The brothers are doing Hanukkah celebrations here in Philly, here in California, everywhere, all over the damn planet that we have Hanukkah. I think I got to check with Captain Tazaryak to see if he's doing it out there on Thursday. If he wants to do it, of course, he can do it. If not, I'll go down and do it. All right. Doesn't matter to me either way. All right. But that's Hanukkah. Once again, also this Saturday, General Katham Gabar will be leading brothers out to homeless shelters that house the immigrants from South and Central America in New York. He'll be out there feeding them food, giving them coats and gloves and winter gear, which of course they don't have because of the countries they come from. And brothers will be out there with Katham Gabar to aid our brothers and sisters in being good neighbors to them, extending hospitality to them, because they're our guests. These oppressors won't treat you like you're their guest, but we know you come here from Mexico, you're our guest. You come here from Guatemala, Venezuela, you are our guest. And Commanding General Yahanna will be extending his hospitality to the immigrants caught up in the immigrant crisis in New York this Saturday. If you brothers want to come out, sisters want to come out to support General Katham Gabar, it would be a wise decision to do so. Malak. Go ahead.
So when it comes to like raising a child in truth, like both mother and father, would it be a time where that child would go off and like try to follow around other children that's doing these sins in the world?
Absolutely. Right? Because life here, brother, is not without temptation. Everything you try to do that is righteous in this evil world, this world will attempt to cancel out that righteous thing. And you're going to have to, your son or daughter will have to go through that temptation. That's in the book of Genesis, where the Most High, Deuteronomy, where the Most High God said that he would leave the other nations round about Israel, that he might try Israel. That's in the Bible. So if you're going to teach your child the truth at home, do your best to instill good values, good morals in that child. Then that child has to walk out that door and make a decision. That's what they got to do. They're going to go to school. They're going to go around other kids. They celebrate Christmas. They got weed and drugs. They having fun that Adam wanted to have. Eve wanted to have. And they had to face it. They had to decide. Your child will have to decide too. If your child is weak, then your child is going to fall. If your child is strong, then your child will resist temptation and have his reward. That's life. Right? It's not up to you. Your part is the teaching. Your part is instilling good values in the child. But your part is not finished until your child decides. That's life. Everyone understands. All right, where are we at now? What was I holding? Oh, the one in Proverbs I just asked for. You have it? You want to say something? You died. Come on with it. We ready to rock.
Oh, we will do it.
Salaki. I didn't know. Come on quickly, yo.
Go ahead. Book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 3. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt. And
this is about protesting Palestinian people out there, right? This is what the UPK has been doing since 1969. When the wicked come, who is the wicked? The oppressor is the wicked. The oppressor that rules the country of Israel, the oppressor that rules Mexico, the oppressor that rules America and Great Britain and Haiti, the oppressors of this world. When they come, when they're in charge, go ahead.
And with ignominy.
Ignominy. You know what ignominy is? Ignominy is like, it's like hatred. Like a hateful reputation. That's ignominy, right? It's old word. So when the wicked are in charge, then they get a reputation for being wicked, right? Once you elect these leaders, then you see, whoa, these people are evil. Whoa, these people are disgusting. They're treating us terribly. They're bombing our cities. They're creating ghettos in America, and they're bombing cities in Palestine. These people are destroying Great Britain. That's ignominy. It's like an evil reputation. Go ahead.
Verse 4. The words of a man's mouth.
No, I'm sorry. I missed something. Read it one more time.
Verse 3. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt.
Contempt. That's the word I was looking for. When the wicked comes, then contempt comes. People will hate this land because it's ruled by the wicked. That's what's happening in the Middle East. Because this wicked man is ruling the country of Israel. He's unaliving every child over there. I'm familiar with that about him because he did the same thing to the North American Indian. He did the same thing to black people. And because of it, contempt happens. They begin to hate them. That's why there's protests in the street right now. That's why the UPK has been protesting, because we know that the wicked is in charge, and we know that contempt comes from that. Hatred comes from his evil government, his evil treatment of the poor. And with that, keep going.
Oh God. And with ignominy reproach.
And with ignominy reproach. What's ignominy? Going out and telling everyone about his reputation. You got to go out and tell people how wicked these people are, because that's the ignominy. Because now you go out and say what they've done to the ghetto, what they've done to the barrio, what they've done to the reservation. And now he begins to have ignominy. He begins to have an evil reputation because you go out and spread his works. You go out and tell everyone about his deeds. That's what we've been doing. You started, last week when you watched the news. We started because of the neighborhoods we live in. Everyone understands. Last precept. You guys, let me know if I got to run. If I got time to even do this last one. We should wrap it. I'll get the next one. I'll get this last precept on Thursday. With that, pass the class over to, say your name again. Mathumia. Throughout.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1WEST on 25th Street, Hall, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means tenth in Hebrew, Ma'asharah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give it to the teacher, priest going. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations, you got the feast of dedication, a Hanukkah, December the 7th. You can find that in 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verses 52 through 61. All right, and if any brother want to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, and with that, I'm an individual like Majima.